Okay, so we'll say we will mm, we will implement what is called as no, okay, we'll try to do that later when we do class and objects. Okay. I want to create a list. Okay, so I want to input marks of 5 students in 5 subjects. I want to input okay 5 subjects marks, okay, in 5 subjects. Okay. Okay, and I want to use one single variable for doing that. So how do you input 5 marks? So you have to say here in, let's say I'm going to say mark equal to int of, I'm assuming it is integer of input, enter the marks, right? Okay. Now this is going to be your one subject marks. So if I need to enter in 5 subjects, I have to say for I in range, correct? 5. For I in range, 5. Now, when you run it, this is going to run 5 times, correct? And you get marks. Now here it says enter the marks. So let's say instead of saying enter the marks, I would say enter the marks in subject, okay? And I'll say subject plus, before that, I'll say str of I plus. So I'm actually adding 3 different strings together. Okay, so this is a string. Now see, input takes only one parameter. Input takes only one parameter. I cannot give comma. I have to use plus only. So this is a string, okay, and I will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some, because it is integer, right? It is range will generate integer values. So I'm going to convert into a string because 2 strings can be added together. Now, if I have to make it I plus 1, that's when it is 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3. Otherwise, it'll give you like enter the marks in subject 0. We don't want to place type 0, right? We want it to appear as 1. So that's why I'm saying I plus 1. So it will say enter the marks in subject 1, enter the marks in subject 2, so on. Right? And then I want to put a colon here so that I want this to appear as it is. Then the value of I, okay, and then I want to have a colon at the end. Great. So this will be red. Now I need to save this value in one single variable, right? So best way to save a value is to save in a list, right? So I'm going to declare like all marks or something. I'm going to create this as a list, and here I'm going to say all marks dot append, and when you say append, and I'll say mark. So what happens, this marks, or you can put it as marks probably. So when you read it as marks, this value I'm appending in all marks. So end of this loop, okay, I'm going back, okay, so I'm going outside this for loop. So if I print, okay, marks are, right, and I'll put all marks, correct? Great. So this is way to read marks of 5 subject and displays the marks. So if I run this prog1, let me run it. Okay, marks say, so it says subject 1 is coming from this part, and then you have colon here, which is coming from here. Okay, so I'm going to say 55, 77, 88, and see, it has added. We have used append, so it gets added at the back, right? So first value that we added is at first position, then 44, second value, third, fourth, and fifth. All right. So this is how you can actually read marks of 5 subject and store as one single list. But it says 5 students, right? So I need to have, okay, a list which will have list of values. So I'm going to create as students. I'm going to create a list called student marks, let's say, and I'm declaring as black. Now, this entire thing is running 5 times, obviously, because we have to read marks of 5 subjects. But now I need to read marks of 5 students, marks of 5 subjects for 5 students, right? So this entire thing has to repeat 5 more times, and that will be for student, isn't it? So I'm going to say here for j in range 5, correct? So now this is going to repeat 5 times. Like this is outer loop, this is inner loop. Very similar to what we did in loops, right? Created 2 loops. So inner loop will run 5 times to read marks of 5 subjects. And the entire process has to run 5 more times for 5 different students. Now, when you read this marks, okay, here, okay, and when you are done with the marks, okay, now your student marks should take all marks, right? So I'm going to say here, student marks, okay, dot append, and then I'll put all marks here. So now when you come out of the loop and you say print marks obtained by students are, okay, I'll put it in next line. So I'm going to say /n, and I'm going to say comma student marks, right? So what happens when you are outside the outer loop? Here the student marks will have all the marks, right? Okay, now here I can say marks, okay, obtained by student, right? Now this is a print. I can use f string right here, and I can say marks obtained by student. Now this is which number student? That number will come from j. So I'm going to say student j plus 1, because j also starts from 0. So I cannot say student marks of student 0, right? I have to say marks of student 1. So I'll say j plus 1. Okay, marks obtained by student 1 colon, and then I can put this inside the bracket, right? So as a, right? So now when you run it, okay, let's see. Enter the marks in subject 1, okay. You see, it says marks obtained by student 1 is this. Now, for second student, okay, so this is marks obtained by student 2. Now, third student. Okay, this is third student. Fourth student. So see, this is student number 4. Now you have for fifth student. Right? So see, you got all the student marks. So this is how you can read marks of 5 subjects for 5 students. What I will do now is, I will copy this. Okay, see, I don't want to run the entire program again. So I will move to different file, okay, or maybe here, and I'll put, let's say, all marks, okay, equal to this. So now you know how to read these, right? Now let's say we will perform some operation based on this data. Okay, so you have a list of list now, right? Now I want to perform sum and average for all the student. Sum and average for all the student. Okay, so you get all marks here. We call it a student marks, right? Let's use same variable so that you can reuse. You can join these 2 programs later. Okay, so I'm saying student marks equal to this. Now I want to find total and average for each student. So to find total average of each student, I have to iterate through each student, right? So I'll say for, okay, K in student marks. So if I print K, what do you think K will be? If I say print K, what will it print? Members of student marks, right? So this is your 1K. This is second iteration. This is third iteration. For each iteration, you will get each of these marks, right? So if I run this, you see, you get these values here, right? Now I want to find sum. So you can find sum here. Okay, I'm going to say F string. And here I'm going to say, so this is a student one, right? So total marks obtained by student, okay, student is your K plus 1, right? Student 1. Up to my student 1 is, now I can say sum of K. Okay. Oh, no, sorry. This cannot be K plus 1. K is a list. You can add only list to it. Okay. So it's not the right. So what I can do is, because I need both the position and the values. So instead of saying K in student marks, I will say here K in range. Okay. And here I will say len of student marks. So if I say len of student marks, what will I get? I will get total number of values in student marks. So what is the size of student marks? 5, right? So student marks is 5. So when I say K in range len of student marks, it's like saying for K in range 5. For range 5 will give us 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now K becomes, 0. So I'm going to say K plus 1. Right? Now K is, 0. So I will say sum of student marks of K. So sum function, if you apply, now we're learning sum functions. If you apply sum function, it will perform sum of the values in that list. And now I need to find average. Okay, so total marks of student 1 is this, and average is sum, right? So this is your sum. Or I can say something like this, like total equal to, just to save some real estate. Okay, so I'm going to say, so here I can replace this with total. And here I can say total by len of student marks. Okay, if you have any questions, please stop me then. Okay, please stop me if you have any questions. Okay, now when I run it, so it's iterating through this, and it says, see, the sum of student 1. Total marks obtained by student 1 is 385 and average is 77. Student 2 is 362, average is 72.4. So see, we have calculated total and average of all the students. If you want to print in different line, okay, this is how you print in different line. Quotation ends, and then again you begin with the same quotation in the next line. So this is how you are breaking a print into 2 lines. Okay. So when you do like this, then Python understands that it's a single line. So logically, it is a single line. Physically, you're putting them in 2 different lines. But logically, it is single line. So you start with the quotation here, end the quotation. Again, you start with quotation and you end the quotation. And this bracket, of course, is for this bracket. This closing bracket is for this opening bracket. So if the print statement is too long, right, you can break it down. So now Python is intelligent enough. So it has actually, done that quotation closing opening automatically. But this is how you should do if you are doing manually. Make sense?
Yes.
Now I want to find, okay, let's say, highest value of each of the student. highest value of each of the student. Okay, so I can say here. Okay, now, okay, so total, okay, highest marks. Highest marks obtained by student is, okay. Now you tell me, do you have a function like max of? Can I say, so here I will say, just like we did sum of, right? I'll say max of, and this is not student, but this is your student of K. Right? So K will give us the first set of value. And see, max of student has given us maximum value here. So it says that maximum value of this is 99. So maximum marks obtained by student is this. Okay. Now let's say I also want to talk about which subject they have scored marks. So, okay, I'm going to create a list called subjects here. And let's say you have predefined subject, right? So the marks, the first subject is, let's say, maths. Second subject is, let's say, stats. Third subject is, let's say, physics. Okay. Fourth subject is, let's say, programming. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And fifth subject is, let's say, what shall we put? We'll put SQL, let's say. So let's say these are 5 subjects and these are, marks obtained. Now, here, I know 99, okay? But in which subjects? Highest marks obtained by student 1 is 99. Okay, so I'm going to hit here and say in subject, okay, subject what? So see, I need to know the position of 99 in this. So how do you know the position of 99 in this? Okay, so I can create one single big formula, but just to break it just so that it's easy to understand, I can say max val, okay, or max marks equal to, I'll put max of this. Okay, so now you get max mark here, let's say. Now, what is the position of max marks? I can know by index, isn't it? So I will say in subject, okay. So in subject, now if I, okay, if I say here, K of student marks of, this is your list, right? Student marks of K, okay. Now, if it is first iteration, K will be 0. So student marks of 0. So this will give us first list. This is first list. Now I'm going to say first list dot index. Okay, and index, you give them the max marks value. So this will give you the position. This will give you the position in the student marks and list, specific list, not the entire, but specific list. So if K is 0, if you're running it for the first time, it is the first loop, right? So it's going to tell us in dot index of 99. So dot index of 99 will give us what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this entire thing will give us 4. Now, if I say 4 of subjects, so I know, so this entire thing, so I'm saying subjects of this entire thing. Okay, so see, we are using 3 different things here: subjects, students, and index. So what did we say? You start evaluating from inner to outer. Index of max results. Index of max results in student K will be 4. So now this entire thing gets evaluated to 4, and then subjects of 4, okay, will be subject here. This is your 4, right? So now if I run it, so it says, see, total marks of student 2 is 362 and average is 72. Highest mark of student 2 is 98 in subject SQL. Mark of a student is marks. I'll put a space here. Okay. So this is how you can read the values, use different methods based on your requirement. Did you understand, guys? So with that, we will stop our practice on list. Okay. In the link, I will upload few more practice program for list. Okay. So please do the assignments. If you already have programs, please practice. At least do 5 to 10 programs on list. Or you can even Google and say, list programs in Python. Okay. Or programs in list in Python. So you'll get programs. I want you to do at least 5 programs. You can do 10, great, better. But at least 5 programs you do. And, you let me know in the group that you have done it. Okay. Okay. Now let's move on. So, now let's talk about let me move this. Did I move already? Yes, I think so. Yes. So let's talk about next something called as tuple. So we said list is a linear ordered mutable collection, right? That's what we said about list. So tuple is immutable collection. That's the only difference between list and tuple. Okay. So in list, you can perform append, you can perform insert, you can perform remove, pop. Okay. None of these things you can perform in tuple. Tuple does not allow you to edit existing value. Tuple does not allow you to edit existing value. Okay. You cannot edit existing value. Okay. So how do you declare a tuple? So tuple is declared using simple bracket. Okay, is declared using simple bracket. So if I have to declare a tuple, okay, so if I have to declare a tuple with just one value, I'm going to say t1 equal to empty. So now I will say here type of t1 equal to type of t1, right? Now when you run it, see it says tuple. So this is how you declare tuple. I can declare tuple with just one value as well, right? So if you have to declare one value, you have to be careful, okay? Just remember this. If I put value like this, okay, it will say int. If I put value like this, and when you run it, so it says string. So if you have one value, it's not able to understand whether it is a tuple that you are creating or you're passing it like a function, okay? Or performing some kind of calculation, not function. You're doing some kind of calculation, right? Because simple bracket is used in calculation as well. Remember BODMAS rule? In BODMAS, B is bracket, right? So I can say 5. What is 5 plus 3 into 2? Tell me, what is the value of 5 plus 3 into 2? Hmm?
11.
11? Okay, because first you perform multiplication, then you add it. Now, what if I put a bracket here? Then
16.
16, correct. So it doesn't know here, okay, Python, that you are using it for bracket purpose or you are using for tuple purpose. But if you see, if you are using for calculation purpose, you will never have comma. Okay. So now see, if I can do even for, I can do it even for string also, this calculation, because this calculation exists in string as well. Okay, which we'll see in some time. I can say hello plus there, and I'm going to say multiplied by 2. Okay, hello plus there multiplied by 2. So if I print T1 now, okay, so it'll be hello plus there, hello there, and it will repeat 2 times, just like list. So hello there, repeated 2 times hello there. If I don't put bracket, then what happens? First there will be multiplied twice, and then hello will be added, isn't it? So hello, there. See the difference? Same thing happens in integer also. So what I'm trying to make is, if you have a single value in the tuple, then you have to mark it differently. If there is no value, then it knows that it's a tuple, because you can't have a bracket without anything in it. So if there is no value in it, it is tuple. If you have two values, okay, so if we have two values in tuple, I say T1, 5, 4. Now you cannot have a comma in a mathematical equation, right? Comma is not allowed. So when you put comma, 2 values, 3 values, 10 values, then Python knows that you are using it as a tuple, not as anything else. But if you have one value, then very likely you want to use it like a mathematical operation. So if I have to declare tuple with one value, what should I do? Put an extra comma here. Okay, so this extra step is required only if you have a tuple with just one value. You put an extra comma. You have to put an extra comma there. Okay, so this is how you declare tuple. Tuple, as I said, you cannot edit it. So I cannot say T1 of 0 equal to 6, right? I cannot say here T1 of 0. Now indexing is exactly same like list. So I'm not going to go to indexing. Okay, indexing is exactly same as list. So you use square bracket, you use 0 to n minus 1. In forward indexing, for backward indexing, you use -1 to -n. Okay, everything exactly same bracket. Okay, so when you see this value, right, when you see indexing, you will not know whether it is for a string or for a tuple or for a list, because this happens exactly the same way for all three. And doesn't matter, because when you want to read it, it doesn't matter what value it is, right? Reading, you can perform on any one of these. Okay, so reading is exactly same here. So now I cannot say T1 of 0 equal to 8. If I do it, you get error, because tuple is immutable. Tuple does not support item assignment. Okay, this error we did not face in list, because list allows to edit the value, that is tuple. Sorry, list allows because it's mutable, but this is tuple. Tuple does not allow mutable. Mutability means editing the value of editing pre-existing value of your tuple. You cannot do that. Okay, so you can say that tuple is a read-only version of list. Tuple is a read-only version of list. So if I try to make any changes to tuple, you can't do it, right? Okay, so yes, properties. If I say T2 dot, we don't have T2, right? T1, right? T1 dot, you see, you only have index and count. Index, where you pass the value, it will tell you the position where it is there, the first occurrence, okay? Position of first occurrence of the value will tell you where it is when you do index, and count will tell you how many such values are present in that tuple. That's it. Only the read operation is allowed. You do not have edit or write operation to it. So we saw like almost what, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 such functions yesterday in the list, but you have only 2 functions in the tuple, because tuple does not allow editing. That's why you do not have all those functions. You can only read the value based on the index. You can read the value based on the value, read the index based on the value, which is using index, and you can count how many values are there. Okay, so this makes our life easy, isn't it? Now you can use tuple like your list. So I can say 5, 4, 6, 9, 1. So I can use it like a list. List. I can use it in a for loop. So for I in T1, and when you print I can say from tuple I will be the values from the T1, right? So when you run it, you see, you get 5, 4, 6, 9, 1, the values of T1. So you can run for loop just like we did in the list, right? But running for loop using tuple is considered faster, is faster than running for loop using list. So if you are performing read operation, then it's better that you use tuple. But and when you want to do a lot of write operation, then it's better that you use list, because only list will allow editing. But what if same value you're using for both? You can convert one form to another. Let's say you can declare as a list. Then you add values to it like list, append and insert. Once you are done inserting or making any change, then you make it tuple. So your list can be converted to tuple, tuple can be converted to list. Now in this case, T2, T1 is tuple, right? So if I say T1 dot, you see you only have index and count, because these are two functions that tuple supports. Now what I can say T1 equal to list of T1. So converting your tuple to list. So list, list, just like int will convert into int, str will convert into string, bool will convert into bool. You have list which will convert into list. So once you convert tuple into list, and now you say T1 dot, okay, you see exact same set of functions that we did yesterday. So you can convert a tuple to a list. You can convert a list to a tuple. Now this time this T1 is what? List, right? I can say tuple of T1. Okay, converting list to tuple. Now when you print, okay, or I don't have to say type, you just say T1 dot, you see, back to just two functions, two methods. Back to just two methods. So this is how you can convert a list to tuple, tuple to a list without any problem. Every tuple can be converted to list. Every list can be converted to tuple. So by converting to tuple, you're making it read only. So that's why you cannot perform a lot of operation. By keeping it like list, you are keep it open for editing, right? Just now we wrote that program where we created an empty list and then we kept on adding values to it, right? That is possible in the list, not in the tuple. That's it about tuple. Any question, guys, so far? So whenever you're doing reading operation, right, it's better you convert into tuple and then read. Make sense? Okay. We'll start one more topic and we'll continue for next 10, 12 minutes. Okay. And we will end for the day. I want you to give practice also. Okay. And I'll upload some notes to practice on that website. Cool. Okay. So let's start. Where were we? We were talking about strings. Strings, right? That's what called as str. So what is string? String is text data. When you want to represent text data in Python, we call it as str, okay? Or, we call it as string, or we represent using str. And to declare a string value, we use, I can say str1 equal to hello, right? I can use double quote. I can say str2 or 3 equal to hi there, right? Or this time I wanted to use single bracket. So str2 equal to single quote, okay? Hi there. Now, both are valid ways of declaring a string. So if I say here, print type of str1, comma, type of str2, and when I run it, so you get class str. Both are string without any problem. Okay. Now, you can also use string using triple quote. I can say str3 equal to how are you? I can say, so this is double quote, right? str3 equal to triple quote, I said, right? How are you? I can declare string using triple single quote as well, right? So now when you print the type, so what you just learned, string can be written as single quote, double quote, or triple quotes. Absolutely no problem between them. With me? Then what is difference between these four? Are there any difference between them? Is there any difference between these four? The answer is there is no difference between first two and there is no difference between last two. Okay, so there is no difference between declaring string using single or double quote, and there is no difference between and quote strings. Okay, so there is no difference between single, double, or there is no difference between triple within triple, but there is difference between single, double versus triple. What is the difference? Difference is triple quote, okay, or double quote, single, double, this or this declares only one line of text. But and can be used to declare multi-line of text. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So let's start printing these. So I'm going to say print str1, okay, and I'll say print str1, okay, and I'm going to put it like this: str1, str2, str2, str3, str3, str4, str4. See? So, hello, hi there, how are you? I'm fine, correct? Now, here I can say multi-line. How are you? Enter. Where are you? What are you doing? Let's say. Okay. Here I can say, I am fine. I am here. I am doing nothing. Right? You can extend into multi-line. You can extend into multi-line without any problem, which you cannot do in single quote or double quote. So triple quotes accepts multi-line text, but your single double does not accept multi-line text. With me? Okay. Indexing of string is exactly same like tuple or list. But one thing also you remember, strings are also immutable. Strings are also immutable. That means I cannot edit a value of string. So if I say I want to make H capital, if I say str1 of 0 equal to H, okay, you get same value. String object does not support item assignment. You cannot. So strings are immutable. Strings are immutable. Okay, strings are immutable. Indexing is same, right? So strings are same as list or tuple. So you have, okay, 0 to n-1 indexing and -1 to -n indexing, right? So if I need first member, I'll say str1 of 0. Okay. So indexing is exactly same. I'm not doing it because we have done it in the list, isn't it? Indexing is exactly same. So now if indexing is exactly same, then will it also not have other properties like adding, deleting, subtracting? Okay, it has, strings has, but what it does is it does not change the existing value. It will return you new set of string values. Okay, so if I say L1 dot append, L1 is getting changed. But here if you say str1 dot something, then str1 is not changed. It is giving you a string. You can say str2 equal to. If you don't say str2 equal to, then it is waste. Okay. So I will take one example here. So if I say str1 dot lower or upper, let's say, what it does is it converts into uppercase. It converts into uppercase. Now, if I say print str1, okay, it is still going to print lowercase value only. Hello. But we said upper. We said upper, so it is returning a new string, not an old string. So I can say here str2 equal to. Okay, now str2 we have already used, right? Let's use str11, 11. Okay, str1 is hello and str11 will be capital. Okay, so we have a lot of methods which we need to perform on string, but it returns a new set of values for us. It is not changing the existing value because they are immutable. Okay, one concept we will do before we end. You can use string in for loop. Strings are used in for loop exactly same way as list or tuple. So I can say here for I in str1. So how many times this will run? This will run number of elements you have in str1. So if I say hello, it will run 5 times. And in first iteration, I will be H, second iteration in E, third iteration L, fourth iteration L, and fifth iteration O. Hello. So, okay, you can use string For indexing, same as list and tuple. You can use string in for loop, same as list. You can add toString we just saw a few minutes back, right? I can say str22 equal to hello. Okay, I can give a space plus there, okay, plus into 2. So addition and multiplication we have seen in list. You can add two lists together. You can multiply a list with a number. Same thing you can perform in string. So here I'm saying hello plus there into 2. First into will be done. So there will be repeated twice and then added to hello. So you get hello there. Right? str22 equal to str2, and when you run it, you see you get hello there. This is how strings can be added together. Two strings can be added together and string can be multiplied with a numeric value. All right, we'll stop here and we'll see